you know, share feedback, talk about best practices and all those things to help us flush out what needs to be flushed out before game day. I look at this like a sport, right? So for me, this is all practice preparation. This is the final walkthrough before we got the game tomorrow. And so when it's game time, ain't nobody got time to be answering questions on those 0-day trade. All the questions should have been asked tonight. We don't want to. We're not having conversations about how much the contract's gonna pay out, what's the targets. You know what I'm saying? The strike prices, the ROI, the broad information, like all of that stuff. We go through right now. We do that now in preparation. So when it's game time, what do coaches tell you? For anybody that's played sports, what do coaches tell you? Focus on your execution. It's about executing. So we do all that thinking. We don't want analysis paralysis in the middle of the trading session. So we're trying to get all that stuff out of the way now in preparation for us to go and execute, because we ain't got time for indecisiveness. Time is literally money when it comes to these 0 days. And so we want to make sure that we're on point, we're confident, and we're making decisions with real assertiveness. And so that's what this is about. And so days like last Friday, I think personally for me, they give me, I mean, I'm already confident in the process, but I think seeing that over time, over the last few years, seeing this process work in spite of whatever the market is doing, really gives me that level of confidence where I feel the way I feel when it comes to the trades and all those things, right? It don't have to hit every 100% of the time, but I know based on the factors that we look at, this is a winning combination. And so I was just happy to see that, because you can't predict when it's going to happen. I mean, sure, when it's bullish and everything's green and we hit for 1,000%, like I love that. That's exciting. Y'all see how excited I be in the Discord and all of that. But I think, bro, fam, like when I see a 300% on a bearish day, when ain't nothing else going, that's just as gratifying as 1,000% on a bullish day. When everybody making money on a bullish day, you could just slip up and make some money, right? You could trip up and make money. But when you got a situation where it's bearish, people losing, they did all that price action last week, and for us to come out with multiple successful trades that any of us could have taken and won on, I think that's the impressive part. And that's the stuff that I want you guys to take. Those are the takeaways. Those are the things that I want you guys to take back with you when you're looking to take your own trades and things of that nature. So anyway, I went into the long-winded intro monologue right there, but I definitely wanted to highlight that because y'all really killed it with that. Y'all doing the darn thing. So this week, we're going to get into it, but before we do, I want to get through the housekeeping. This is the 0-day class, and this class is really focused on developing and, strengthening, refining your process as it relates to taking 0-day trades. It doesn't have to specifically be a Friday 0-day, but it's the process applies to the 0-day concept or the day trade concept, right? And then to take that a step further, if you are an attendee of our Strat 101 class, we talk about the watch list in our watch list development module. We go in depth about this process, which I don't have time to get into today. But we talk about there's two types of trades that I personally, because we're kind of into our Alphapack strat with this. So there's two methods of trades that I look at when I'm taking trades, and one of which is the like trend reversals, like the major reversals on the macros that we talk about so much. You'll see some of those trades on my weekend watch list, but and so that's what that's about. Those are major trend reversals, trying to buy time on it and let it do what it do. And then we got another situation, which is called our continuation method. And that's essentially, I'm looking for, it could be a TTO. It could be a situation where there's a stock that's in a strong trend and we get some type of inside setup. And I like to use the analogy like we're on a moving train, right? So the trains come to the bus stop. It's at Union Station and they saying, all right, anybody else want to take this ride? We finna move, we going up. All aboard. That's what that inside candle is saying to me, or a setup. It doesn't have to be an inside candle. It could just be an actionable signal or a setup that's giving us the opportunity to get in. And again, we want to get in the trade as it triggers. We don't want to get in a 2-1-2 after it's already gone 1-2-1-2. We want to get in it we're looking at it for a 2-1, and then tomorrow we want to get in on the 2-up, on the 2-1-2 trigger, not after the fact, right? We don't want to take 2-1-2 on Friday and then Monday we're saying, hey, we want to take this continuation. That's not the way to look at it. We want to take it on the trigger, and I'm really mentioning that for a lot of our newer members, so that we, I just want to emphasize that. So that's what we really get into here. And for those of you who are just here for the education, that's what this class is about. So you don't feel obligated to take any of these trades, even in spite of, whatever success or, non-success we have on these trades. And when we take them on Fridays, it's really about the education. We really want you all to understand the process and kind of the mindset that we have in taking in these short-term trades. And so there's people who come here who don't even take 0 days. They just pure long-term swinging, but they want to add a tool to their tool belt or, expand their skill set. So definitely, look at it for what makes sense for you. But if you are looking to maybe possibly get into it, take some time, don't rush into it. And, I'd say that, depending on the market sentiment, and things of that nature, last week looked pretty bearish in terms of the overall. But obviously we have a process where we can kind of filter through and find the good stuff. But we'll get more into that today. And as always, if you got tickers you want me to look at, please drop them in the chat. I will qualify that and say we are only looking for setups for tomorrow, only 0-day setups. I don't want to go over setups that are like long swings. We're talking about for next week, next month. None of that. That's not the intent with this, right? So just trying to be mindful of everyone's time that's on this call, because this thing can go hours. So we want to keep the request to the 0-day setups for tomorrow, just trying to be mindful of each other's time. And with that, man, let's get into it. What I typically do a lot of times, if there's not something just standing out to us, we like to run a couple of scans. And again, what we're looking for is continuation type of setups. So we're looking for, bullish continuations, 2-1-2s, Chicago's, things of that nature. So we're looking for those TTOs on things that are in force. And I typically like to take my setups on the 4-hour or even the daily time frame for these 0 days. I'm not so much interested in the scalping of them. A lot of times for me personally, with the high potential on some of these trades, if the setup's right, I like to position myself to where I can be in the trade, maybe a couple hours, maybe half a day if it calls for it. But in the case of last week, we took the trade to target. It wasn't no staying in it a couple hours. It wasn't none of that. It was just, we're taking it to target and that's it. We out, So depending on how you kind of assess the trade, you can kind of make a judgment of how you want to play it. But that's why I target 4-hour in the day time frame, because if the setup is correct, then you do have a little more time to stay into the play and not feel like rushed, like you got to play it like a scalp. And and I used to do a lot of scalping. I used to be a daily scalper and all of that. So I get it, but that's not the intent here. So with that, we are gonna get into some scans. What I like to do is get into, let's just take a look at the 4-hour and the daily time frame. I think the 4-hour should have a good number of setups. So I would imagine there's probably like a lot of tickers on there. And if it is, which there's a fair amount, 129 is a solid number. So we can take a look at some of these tickers here, but again, like I mentioned, drop your tickers in the chat and we'll start to go through them. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of chop on some of these tickers. So let's start. Actually, let me go to the day first. Let me see what we got on the day before I jump into these 4 hours. Okay, so the day has about half. Okay, so let's start with the day, and then if we need more, we'll go expand to the 4-hour. Trying to be mindful of time. Oh, y'all already dropping in setups, huh? Okay. Just so typically what I do in this process, because we're looking for a specific type of setup or fundamentally a specific type of setup, not so much a 2-1-2 or 3-1-2, but I'm looking for continuation type of trades, right? So that could be on the day, it could be on the 4. So what I typically do, I don't play every stock that has that setup, right? I don't like, typically for me, I have a universe of influence, right? So there's like a universe of stocks that I play across all the sectors, the indices, everything, right? And so in that universe, if there's stocks within my universe on this list, then that's like the first thing. Like I'm not gonna play something like SMCI if it has a fire setup on it, just because it's got a fire setup. I don't do that. It's got to be something that's like I'm familiar with. I don't have to play it a lot, but it's something that's in my universe of influence. And if it's in my universe, then I feel more comfortable playing it. So I don't go through every ticker on these lists. I only cherry pick the ones that are in my universe, and then I'll look at those. Like when you're trying to learn, like I want to take something in my universe I already know about, I know how it moves, I understand its behavior, versus trying to take a 0 day on a brand new ticker you know nothing about on the riskiest trade that you can take on it. It just logically doesn't make sense for me. So I just typically have the mindset that I want to play something more familiar to me on a 0 day. And if it's a reversal and I've done my homework and due diligence on it, then sure, I can take a long swing on something new. But for the 0 days, I gotta have supreme confidence in what I'm doing. And the new ticker will not give me that. That's just me. So first one I see that, maybe want to take a look at is Roblox. So I'll tell you first things first, just because it made that significant drop that it did, it's probably going to be like ruled out for me. I don't like that. Unless it was a downside setup and there isn't. I mean, I guess you could say maybe if that 2-1-2 goes down, that could be a setup. But I think what it looks like is like it's trying to come up off those lows. So in my mind, I'm kind of like, I'm gonna let that one do what it do, unless I want to take a downside move on it. So I think that's the question that you got to ask yourself. Is this something you want to look downside? Because that's what I would think it needed to go. I wouldn't try to take an upside move on this one. Continuity's pushing the other way. So if anything, if I wanted to force it, it was like, oh, I'll get a 2-1-2 and have it reject and come back through the range. But I'm more inclined to think Roblox is probably going to push back down tomorrow. Had a nice little day today, though, 3.9%. But I'm not going to play that to the upside for a 0 day. That's just not going to happen. Boom, quick, easy. It's a no-go. I don't care what that 4 hour look like. Oh, it's a strong nobody candle. Not playing it. And if it go off tomorrow, then it go off. Cool. But more times than not, if you had 100 setups that looked like that, probably 90 of them are going to go down. And for that reason, I'm sticking with the probability. All right. So next one I see here is Fubo. This one looks a little bit similar to the last one. It looks like we got downside action on the trend. Looks like we had a TTO to the upside. And I'm inclined to think price will probably push back down. This one looks weaker than the first one we looked at, which is Roblox. This one looks like it's going to go 2-1-2 down tomorrow. Create a shooter, green shooter, however. So we can keep going on this one. This isn't one I'm going to look at for tomorrow, unless, any of you guys have questions on it. When I'm looking downside on puts, I want something obvious. I just want it like a textbook strat type of play. I don't want to get too tricky with the setups on the puts. I'm just like textbook Tim Duncan, fundamental strat type of deal. Basic of the basic. Next one we can take a look at. They got Chewy, GPS, PayPal. So what I'll do then, I'll go through this short list real quick, and then after that, I'll just go through tickers in the chat. And then if there's anything additional we should go through, then we can kind of circle back on the 4-hour time frame. This was in full time frame continuity to the downside. This is so random. So yeah, with the Chewy, it gave us this really strong candle today to the upside. But honestly, my mind tells me 212 the other way to the downside. So if there was any setup that I'm considering on Chewy, it would be this 212 on the day, back down. And that's below $30.60. I'm actually gonna mark an alert for that. Yep, and then we got a gap to fill at $30.21. That's probably your target. That's probably your target right there. I wouldn't try to take it past the gap fill, I know that much. Uh-oh, sorry. Wrong level. I'm tripping. 30.60, my bad. Yeah, so I see Chewy more for a downside move. 212 below today's low. I think that's a more likelier scenario. We can look at Twilio and then GPS. If anybody's got questions on any setup, just come off mute and jump in there.
So Resume, Chewy, if it hits below 30.60, is that where you're entering?
No, no, Chewy. That's oh, I'm sorry. Before I should have just waited before I responded. Yes, that is correct. 30.60 is the entry level. Below that level, and I would be looking to the downside, correct. And I'm looking for a level of, what is this? $30. Oh, $30.21 as a target.
30.21.
So it's like a 90-cent move.
So that's what you would do a contract on, a put?
Right, correct.
For like what, a weekly or something like that, or for that weekly for a day?
For tomorrow's expiration.
For tomorrow's expiration, that's a 0 day.
Correct.
I got you. Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem. And yeah, so I'll probably be looking for a what is this, 30.60? I'll probably look for either, depending on what the strikes are, either a 31 or a 30. If you're conservative, you're probably going to go 31. If you like the volatility, you're probably going to go 30.
Thank you, Resume.
Yes, ma'am, of course. And again, you don't have to take it to the strike price, you take it to the target.
Okay.
So if you get to 30 and it gets to 30.21, you take your profit and get up out of there.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem. Somebody, if I know Ray or anybody else that's looking at contracts, go check out what those cons look like for that move to that target. I'd be interested to see what the contracts pay. Because if the contracts don't pay well enough on the ROI, then we can move on. It ain't worth our time. But yeah, we got a little meat on the bone left. Pause. So yeah, that looks good.
Well, my bad, Resume. What was the target?
30.21.
30.21.
90-cent move. That should give us shoot. Man, that's almost a 3%. That's almost a 3% move on the day. So it'd be a strong move.
And we looking at this to the downside, right? The 31
Correct,
put.
yeah.
So 30.91
or
would
30.
be. You said all 30. So target 30.91 for the 30 put. Honestly, that's only like 65%.
No, 30.21.
Oh, 30.21. Sorry. All right, so for the 30 put would be 397%. And
That's what
for
I'm
the
talking about.
31, it would be 230%.
That ain't bad either.
Yeah.
That ain't bad either. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna probably throw this one on the list. I gotta add some more broad informations to see what those levels are. But I like the sound of that.
You
So
got
let's
some
check
chicken
it
on the
out.
bone.
Looks like it's a nice meal setting up for tomorrow. And I like the fact that Chewy's been weak as hell anyway, so I don't have no fear like it's gonna just go crazy out the blue.
Resume.
What's up, boss?
As far as BFs, the only one I see is a 2 week and it's about at 30.
So you got a 2 week and it's right around 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's two of them right there. One is at 30, around 30, and the other one is really close
Like
to it, 29 something.
Yeah, so I see one and I'm playing with the connection point because if I connect it to the previous candle, I'm looking at a level of like around 29.50 for that weekly. And then if I take that candle and connect it to the next weekly candle, that puts the BF above the price at like 31.70. I think I'm gonna go with the lower of the two. But yeah, so I think I see the same one. I don't have that first one you had though. You said 30. This one has potential. What I would want to do is maybe find another price target. So maybe that other price target from was this yesterday's low, that 30.42. Maybe make that an initial target and make 30.21 the overall target. That puts you, it's like a 2%, almost 2% move right there. I think we might have one, people.
Yeah, that 30.42 target for the 30 put is still 260%. So.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that's kind of sealed it for me. I'll probably for sure have this one on there.
And the 31
put
would be 166%.
Still
I do
not
want to get a
bad.
little bit closer to the money. Yeah.
Okay, no, that looks good. I like that. Good breakdown. We moved through it pretty quick. So Chewy's one, I think will make it through the test of scrutiny. I like that. Downside setup though. I had been reading an article. Oh, go ahead, player.
Oh no, my bad. Mind me asking that target again. I ain't in front of my computer.
We got two of them. One is 30, The overall target 30.21, but we're looking at another target of 30.42.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's see. So the next one I seen, I don't play it a whole lot, but it does have a setup that I like. But you know, we ain't played Twilio in a while. But I would want to play this one downside, but it's not weak enough for me. I need something look real weak. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on Twilio. Keep it moving. We got GPS, PayPal, Intel. Okay. GPS. We've got a slight little trend up we've been doing here. But they're getting a little back to school pop. Yeah, I don't know. This one don't give me the warm and fuzzies. It is trending upwards, but the setup ain't real strong looking. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Okay, 4 hour looks better. But it's been consolidating. I don't think I like it right here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this GPS alone. It's just, I feel like it's just consolidated. Let's take a look at PayPal. Oh, Uber. Let's go Uber then PayPal. Isn't that something? Look what we setting up on Uber, y'all. Yep. This looks interesting. This screams swing to me. Not so much 0 day. It's in the uptrend, but it's in the middle of a TTO. So, it's an intriguing position right here. Because based on my logic, there's I feel like there's a likelihood this thing could end the week green. We will need to get to 45.01. We end the week green, sets us up with a 3-2-2 going into next week. That all plays. 2-1-2 on the 4 hour hammer. Close. Chicago day setting up off the Bears 3. Whew. Whew. They done threw all the bait for your boy. They done threw like Bears 3s and all these, man. I like the way this one looks. I don't know if I want to do it for a 0 day. I feel like I want to get it for like another couple weeks, maybe even a month. This one's got me mixed up right here.
Resume,
I'm
I'm
mark it.
talking about Uber.
Say that one more time.
I'm so glad that you're talking about Uber. I got into that because my husband was like, I think you need to get into Uber. Of course, he's not reading no charts or anything. But I took out a
Uh-huh.
contract for August 18th, and I don't know whether to get out or roll or whatever the case may be.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk about it. I think from what I see just visually before I just dive into all the like intricate details of it, I see that Uber has already made a major reversal. So it's in an uptrend. And within this, like I guess 2 week period that we're encountering now is doing what we call a TTO, which is basically going through a period of corrective activity, which means price has been moving up for a little bit, and now depending on the situation, there has to be a little bit of a pull down, and then the expectation is that price will continue to move in the direction that it's been. So looking at the week in particular, we see that we had to pull down on the month. It's the 10th day of the month. So we see what's happened over the last 2 weeks. So we know why that month candle is red, right? So now we're going to the week and we see this 3, which I always stress is bullish. The 3s are bullish to me, but it has to play out, right? So we got the 3 to the 2 down. The 2 down looks to be, it's gonna, like I said, we get about 40 cents of price action. It's gonna be a green candle, a hammer. If we get 40 cents to the upside tomorrow, which will put us 3-2 with a hammer close for the week, setting up for a 3-2-2 reversal back and forth into continuity to the upside.
So I'm gonna watch
And
it.
yeah, so I think for your next week contracts, if you wanna catch the move on Uber right now, you probably would want to roll it. What I'm seeing is this 3-2-2 reverse next week and then move up to around the $50 range.
So I should roll it.
Yeah, if your decision is you want to stay and you want to catch the move on it, I don't think
Right.
Uber's done. I think Uber's doing a TTO right now.
Okay.
And so the timing on your contracts,
Mm.
the risk that you have in holding it is that next week it could go 2 up, right? And make that move. The problem is you're fighting theta. And if you don't want to be in a situation where like your margin for error on the price is like if you get a pull down, a gap down, or it stays inside and stuff like that, you have a situation where your contracts get kind of ate up.
Right.
So so if you want to just kind of have more of a relaxed ride with that stock, then I would say roll it, get some time, set a new target. But do you have what was your target level on it before?
Gosh, what is this? 44? Just give me 1 second. 46? Oh gosh. Yeah, this
Yeah,
46.
so the 46. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, 46 is where that next monthly broadening formation is. It broke through it once and then it went back under it. And so once we go 3-2 this week and then go 2 up next week, it's gonna push back through that $46 level. But that's what I foresee on it in the short term. Now, longer term, shoot, you could get 53, 54 bucks just off this reversal. I mean, 3-2-2 next week, you're probably going to get back to $50 pretty quick. And it's going to take the month back green. The week will be green. You'll be in full time frame continuity. And that's what we stress about in the beginning of the months. People can't get too like, don't get too whatever about anything that's happening in the first like week or two of the month, because the price action does that. So there are certain times where it just may not, it may go bearish, give you some corrective activity for a little bit, and then decide to go up. So just be mindful. That's why FICO, he's our back half specialist, and like he breaks down kind of like the back half of these time frames. And so when you got a month candle, the back half of the month is after the 15th.
Right.
So it's the 10th. It's the 10th now. So we get 3-2-2 next week. We'll be sitting right there, right around the 15th, when this thing reverses, and then I could potentially see bullish activity to finish out the month on Uber, taking this thing past $50.
Thank you for going over that. 'Cause I was struggling to get out of that. Okay, thank you.
Oh, sure, no problem, no problem. That's exactly how I break down trades. I mean, we just went through my whole little, thing of how I mentally break it down. But I do see good potential with this one. It's already in a trend. That's what I like. So there's less to like guess about. And now that we're in the trend, we got two red weeks in a row. My signal, which is a resume thing, is when I see these red 3 candles,
Mhm.
it's a trigger in my mind that we're gonna reverse back up.
And
It
see,
might take.
now I'm watching your videos, right? I'm listening to you teach me, even though I'm on the platform. I have to mute that and listen to the videos. And I'm noticing with the outside day 3 candles, they're red, and that's like a positive thing. But then if you look at on the weekly, it's a 2 candle, but that's like indecision, right?
So the 2 candle is all it's saying is that they weren't done selling it on the 3 candle.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just the selling was too strong and they had to finish off the selling. But once I see that red 3, I just go off percentages. I'm looking at it like based on 100. If I see 100 red 3s, like 75 of them go 312 or 322 back up the other direction. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play the percentages. And so that's kind of how I came to that conclusion with the 3s. And so it's just a function of we don't know how strong the buying will be, right? So when it makes that 3, if the buying is really strong, it'll come and make a wick on that 3 and go back up. The next candle will go inside green, right? But if the buying is weak, and it's selling strong, then it's going to make a full body 3. The next candle going to be a 2 down. It's going to finish as a hammer green. And then the following week, it makes the 2 up, the 3-2-2 full combination back and forth of the original direction you were going. So it's like a 2-week kind of period that you've got to wait for. People, most of the time it's like people taking profits or they got to this target point and stuff like that. So you got to get those people out of the way. They got to fill those sell orders, and it takes a couple weeks sometimes. It's kind of how I look at it. CVS is another one doing the same thing. But yeah, that's what so when I get those red 3s, I'm looking for 2, maybe 3 common things to happen. I'm either going to get a Chicago to the upside, or if it's selling strong, maybe I get a 3-2 down. But each of those scenarios, I'm looking for price action to move back up.
Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Oh, for
Resume.
sure, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, on that the current weekly candle, the wick on that, would that give you more confidence that it's going back up on the next
Yep.
the next candle?
Mm-hmm. The next thing that I would do is I'm just gonna go look at, so like if I was to do this, boom, we got our BF. That's why that wick was created. That wick created that off of that touch of that broad information. That's textbook strat. That's strat 101 right there. That ain't nothing complicated. That's just literally what we teach in the rule book. 3-2-2 coming off the major BF, setting up for a move up. But I do want to say I spent too much time on this one for the sake of like the 0 day, because I think this one, now we just talked about it, I think it's more of a swing than a 0 day. But I think there's opportunity for early entries right here. I think this thing will go 2 up tomorrow, or I think it will go 2 up tomorrow. But we got some good price action potential on this one. I really like it. But as we've talked about it, I'm like, I probably want to get some time on it. I still have the alert set though, so I'm not going to neglect it if it does hit tomorrow. So PayPal, Intel, let's keep it going. Not touching PayPal. Not touching Intel either, even though Intel has a double inside day. That looks intriguing, but I'm not going to touch it. I don't like indecisiveness on 0 days. CRM, Palantir, I would imagine, are bearish. Yeah, this one, They gave everybody a little love at the end of the day today, so it's kind of like looking crazy. But if anything, I'm not going to take this or play it. But 212 to the downside is the most likely scenario on this CRM. I don't want to spend time on it. All right, Palantir. It hit that $20. Hit that $20 and got up out of there, y'all. It hit target and say, "I'm out. See ya." So I hope y'all took profit when we hit target, because that was what the plan was. Get it back to $20 and then get up out of here. Get up out of there. Palantir's got a 212 to the downside move on the day. I think I'm gonna mark it. $15.25 is the entry level. I would like to take that one back to the BF. There's a monthly BF right below it. That might be too far on price though. 14.45, shit. Yeah, that's too far. So we need to find and identify another target. I think that $14.25 level is more of a swing level. I wouldn't want to go for it in one day. It's a little aggressive. But okay. That's cool. That's cool. Somebody's gonna have to go and look at some more targets. I'm trying to speed it up so I can get through more tickers. Let's say FedEx, Netflix. Shout out to that boy Nice. That FedEx. I wonder if he's still in there though. That thing. We got double inside days on FedEx, inside month. You know, it's still early, so we're still good there. Let me zoom in here. FedEx, we're 2 down. Interesting. We could be setting up for a TTO. This thing's held up despite what SPY is doing. That's always a good sign. That's what I call relative strength.
That is sitting right on the BF too. Is that the one you got right there? A weekly BF?
I have a weekly that is under, and I have a yearly that is sitting on top of.
Oh, I don't got that yearly. What do you have above it? Because the next one I got is like 282.
Yeah, I got the weekly that's just above it at like 268. And then, yeah, 282 is the monthly I got.
Oh, you got it above that weekly?
No, I have it below the weekly.
Oh, and above the yearly, you said?
Yeah, above the yearly, below the weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. The setup looks like we're going up tomorrow. Broad information is right at the entry point, so that's always a point of caution. But it's been consolidating in this last like 2-week period, 2 weeks. But it's in an overall uptrend. We'll see what it does. I'm gonna just mark it. This was an old alert that I put out, but I never took the trade. Nice was in there, and a couple of others took it, but that thing just kept going. Sometimes, man, there's too many damn trades. I can't play everything.
We also got a 312 on the 2-day.
Okay. I didn't even check the 2-day, but we got
that daily target will be, that daily target will be the 2-day trigger.
Okay. What's the trigger point on that one?
It's 268.30.
Oh shit. Okay. That's super close. Okay. Double inside. That looks good. All right. We're gonna take a look at Netflix. Meta. Apple's going down too. Netflix is like an inside day setup, but it's been consolidating. Continuities to the, you know, pretty much to the downside, but price is not trending. Like, go ahead and drop, bruh. Stop playing. You know what you want to do. So this is interesting. Again, for my puts, I want to see a clean move, especially a 0-day put. It's right at this broadening formation. Just above it. The setup looks really enticing though. I ain't gonna lie. Entry below 428.69 will take you down to that BF around 418. This one's tough to say because I think, you know, just looking at the setup, you're like, oh, I can take some puts on it. But it's been consolidated for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't like to be indecisive on a stock, and if I am, I don't play it. I wouldn't be surprised though if Netflix made a move to the downside tomorrow. But when I play Netflix, I want to be sure of what I'm doing. And we got Meta. Here, looks like Meta's trying to fill a gap. Almost filled the gap today.
My bad, Russ, man. I meant to ask.
301.77. What's up, bro?
Oh no, my bad. I ain't meant to. I said that Netflix setting up looking good for next weekend.
Let me go back. You know me, bro. I ain't thinking about nothing for next week.
Yeah, my bad. No, I was just it was just a question while I was looking at it.
For next week. What you I don't know.
For a weekly to like for a weekly play. I was just looking at it. And these questions came with my head while I was there, while we was on it.
That's not the thought that came to mind on it, but I mean, sure, if you're convicted, it's going down to 420, but that's not what I came to mind for me.
I got you.
I would be looking more for a long swing to the downside, and I'll be looking for like a 2-1-2 to the downside next week, or even that 2-2 on the month. That's the kind of setup I'll be looking for the downside on Netflix.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, but not no weekly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I skipped it. I like this, you know. Yeah, ain't nothing about that one right there doesn't scream weekly to me. It screams like it's going down, but I want to get some time. It's just expensive. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. What we got? MRO. We know about this one. Boss Game put this one out. So did I. Oh shit! Come on. It hit that quarter trigger. Y'all already know we get corrective activity at these very high macro level trigger points. So I'm not super like trying to push it for it to go tomorrow. I'd rather it just kind of figure itself out. We do got a 3-2 on the week. So that should be interesting next week. But this one, it made its move up. Like we always get at these trigger points, you're gonna get some consolidation, a little bit of corrective activity. So that's what we're dealing with there at MRO. So I'll probably let this one chill on the 0 day. But if you did want to take it, if you're in it long or something, 26.64 would be your entry point on the day, and 26.36 would be your entry point on the 4 hour. And then I would just try to take this one back to the 50% of the year at 26, or yeah, the year at 26.55. That'd be what I'd be targeting on that one. All right, let me get into the chat real quick. Oh shit. I need to speed it up. Losing battery power. All right. We got Tiva. Okay, so on Tiva here, not sure what you're looking for on the setup, but we've got a 322 potentially pushing back to the upside above $9.70. And we also have a potential rev strat on the day above $9.80. This one is in the uptrend. Looks like we just had a little consolidation. When you have these large breakouts on the week like that, the following week can give you consolidation or even for a couple weeks. So just be mindful of that. I'm not sure if it's ready for a 0-day move. Have to speed it up, y'all. My goddamn batteries. Unless somebody can screen share in a minute. But I don't mind staying on, but my device is going dead on me. All right, let's keep it quick. Let's keep it going. What was that? Tiva? Okay, PBR, peanut butter jelly. All right, so peanut butter, we've got the inside 4 as well as 2 up on the day. So we looks like we TTO. Now we're trying to push up. Looks like we hit a level on the volume shelf here. It's like around 1380 something. Let me clean this off. It's crazy. Double inside months, we know that a lot of the energy setups kind of had these setups here. 3-2, you see what we setting up for next week? 3-2-2 back to the upside. I'll be looking to take this one around the $14.30 level, but not a 0-day play, at least in my opinion. All right, NVIDIA. This one looks interesting here. I think overall, in my mind, I think NVIDIA is going down, but you could get a little poppity doo-wop here and there. This one interesting. Retracement. So this one giving us shooter vibes on the day. We got Chicago vibes on the 4-hour. You're creating lower lows on the day. The 4-hour afternoon candle is a little bit bullish, but I would still be setting my trigger to the downside. So you could look for an entry below that 419.66 on the 4-hour. That's really the only bearish entry you've got. Otherwise, I'm not playing it to the upside right here. The 4-hour Luca is what you 21312, but I think it's going to be a downside too. Baba looks like we had a little bit of retracement after the gap up this morning, going 212. Looks like we're going to go 212 tomorrow above 99.79. We're going to have to do a little work to get 2 up on the day, but even a strong inside day would pay you well. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Not sure if I would be playing Baba for the 0-day tomorrow though, but just give you the setup. I don't like the big gap ups. The days after the big gap ups sometimes consolidate. I rather kind of chill out from those. Yep. Oh, we covered FedEx, Dave. Yep. Netflix, we covered. Next, Netflix trying to give me mixed signals. Cat. Let's go to Cat. Chicago. Hey, Cat, about probably one of the better setups we seen. 312 above 284.98. It's been consolidating since we took advantage of it a couple weeks back. Chicago or outside day yesterday. So we're looking for a bullish movement from that outside day. It was a bearish outside day. And look at that candle this week. We formed a shooter after the breakout last week that we were in. We took advantage of that. You know how we do, Pat. We smacked that caterpillar last week, took it all the way to target. But yeah, looks like we TTOing. 0 day, the 4 hours is your best entry on the day. You wait on the Chicago, so it might be a couple days before you get the extended move. Oh shit, there we go. All right, let's keep going. I gotta speed it up, y'all. I wanna turn up. If anybody can share their screen, I'll stay on. Yeah, Hewitt. You know what? If you I don't like the way Nvidia pushing down right now, so I don't want to take a upside move on it right there. That's the only thought. Okay, Starbucks. Starbucks looking strong. 3-2 on the day. Y'all know how I feel about it, but it didn't close with a shooter. Inside week. Inside 4 hour. This one doesn't look bad. It's like it just started its reversal, so you don't have a lot of trend to lean on. Hold on, okay, we're gonna keep going. I like the Starbucks. I like how it sets up. One of the better setups. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of like really good ones out there today. To either direction. Looks like we got a TTO on Schlumberger. I've been kind of reserving judgment on the energy tickers. They all look strong. Energy is the best performing sector this week. I think them and XLV healthcare, but I think for tomorrow, I want to see a more bullish setup, but I still think energy is going to be bullish tomorrow. When I'm looking for a 0 day energy play, I probably like the day to look a little better. But what we're coming off on the 4 hour, we're right between these two BFs. I do like the hammer setup. I don't like the BF sitting above it. So that gives me a little bit of indecision. And we're right in the midst of the TTO. So, but again, energy is super strong, best performing sector. Find a ticker with the best setup that you can find. And I think we're bullish. But that one right there just kind of gives me, it's in a situation I'm kind of like, I don't know. USO made the shooter or reversed on the day, 2-1-2 down. Yeah, I think it's on the TTO more than anything. Can you dig it? And then Black Pyro, USO. I wouldn't take no trade on it. Not for a 0 day. Not for no 0 day, because it's giving you downside vibes, but it's in the uptrend.
Right. That's why I was kind of like, so I'm already in like a position with them, and I was like, okay, we're going into 0 day. Like, it had full time frame continuity. Okay.
No, it's got the micros. The micros are red and the macros are green.
Okay.
Don't do it. It's going, if anything, unless you want to scalp that thing and get like some super low time frames and you want to play in the ghetto. Now you can get some money off of that, but just for the 0 day, I'm bullish on energy and it's giving me a downside setup. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I needed your opinion. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unless it gives me a textbook ABC 1, 2, 3 strat setup for that 0 day, I'm inclined to like play to the trend.
And what I was going to ask you too was with it having, you know how oil gaps, I was like, it went back and filled a gap. And I was just thinking as I was looking at it, I was like, first thing that came to mind was like, damn, do you think oil is going to gap up tomorrow? Like one of those type situations?
It might.
Like,
that's how oil do. It give you a bearish candle and then gap up on your ass.
Right. USO does that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's hard to predict or make a setup based on that prediction though, right? So it's
right.
So for the 0 day, I'll probably just leave it. But yeah, I think in principle, yeah, if you know how the price moves on it, you already know. But It's just
Yes,
hard
sir.
to predict for a 0 day. So then, and Lucid looks like it's pushing down. 3-2 on the week. So I'd be inclined to see this thing go 2 up next week to get above that quarterly broad information. But right now, it don't have enough strength to get over that quarterly. So next week, after we close the week, maybe we have a strong day tomorrow, maybe close to that BF. But the real, if it flips, it goes 3-2-2 up next week, then you cooking with grease because you got room back to $9 plus. So sometimes you got to go through that little bit of chop, and then you go to the promised land. I liken the example of a running back. Once you get through the first level, you get past the linemen and the linebackers. You're like, oh Lord, I got air and opportunity. So that's what I was like. I need to get past the first level on that Lucid. And then Miriam on the DoorDash. Looks like DoorDash is trying to turn over after hitting those highs about 2 weeks ago. $92 plus. So okay, I see what's happening here. We got an XLY stock. My expectation is that XLY stocks will start to turn. You just, it'll be a period of which. So if this one start to turn now, I'm not surprised to see it. But we're 3-2. So caution there. It's been in an uptrend though. Shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. And then we get these first 2 weeks of a month kind of bearish. TTO. This one's TTO, Miriam. I don't know if I want to, that 4-hour setup does look enticing. This is a TTO. I'd be more inclined to look for a swing on a 3-2-2 week, but in terms of the 0 day setup, that Chicago to the upside looks very. And that would flip the day at 83.08. So you're about 68 cents, 69 cents. Yeah. This one, yeah. Less than a 1% move to trigger, to flip the day, I mean. Yeah. This has a good potential to flip. I just hate to get something that's been TTO'ing and catch it. I don't like to take the trade on that actual reversal. I want it to reverse and then I get in on the continuation. So that's the only nuance. I'm being nitpicky about it, really. But yeah, so that's what I would say. And then let me get to everybody's tickers. I got HB with MPC, and then I got you next, Mimi, with VLO. So, oh yeah, no problem, Miriam, anytime. And then MPC, this thing been so strong. It's probably been the strongest energy stock in the sector. This thing been going ham all year. It's just like it ain't, it don't care. I haven't played it for 0 days, so I don't know if it's like the other marathon, but I have played it for swings, and it's a little bit of a steady eddy. But I haven't played it for 0 days, so you need to look and evaluate those contracts. But you got a setup of a 212 to the upside above 145.76 or 74. I'm sorry. I'm inclined to take that entry if it does trigger. Everything that I have on my checklist for what I would want to get into, trend, setup, broad informations, target, it's all there. I just don't. The only unknown is how it moves on 0 day. If it moves anything like it does on the longer contracts, it might be more of a steady eddy play. So maybe not highly volatile. But someone will have to go and analyze those contracts and tell me, because I'm just speculating. And then last one, VLO. Oh, of course, HB, anytime. VLO looking similar. Yeah, there we go. We finding them. Yeah, we finding them energy stocks with the setups. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about right there. Yeah, 312 Chicago, 2 up. Look at that continuation, 2 up on the money. No doubt. Chicago on the 4. Again with VLO, You got to look at those contracts. Don't be a lot of people at the party, especially on non-standard weeks. So what that means is, for those that are not familiar, non-standard week is a week that is not a monthly expiration. And monthly expiration weeks are the third week of every month. So for this month, it would be next week, the 18th. And the correlation to that is the big money, the smart money investors, they only trade at the lowest time frame they trade at is going to be on the month. So those monthly expirations is when the big money trades, and those non-standard weeks is for folks like us, retail traders. So you already know what they're trying to do to people in them non-standard weeks. They're trying to give them emotional damage, and they're trying to clap them and take all your lunch money. So I only play non-standard weeks unless I'm getting a contract the week of, and or some puts I will get non-standard weeks if I feel the price action is going to move in that shorter time frame. Looks like I covered everything on the list. I did want to throw it out there. If anybody wants to take over the screen share, they can, or if we want to take it over to the virtual trading lounge and somebody can take over the screen share there. But my machine's about to die on me here in a few minutes. I think I got 10% remaining. So if anybody got any questions, we can get into it now. There's a couple more tickers, but if not, we can wrap it up too. I know we already at an hour, so we already came through an hour.
Hey, Resume, what was that ticker that you were
Nikki's not here
saying was
today, so
running up in energy the most?
somebody else gonna have to step up. But if not,
Resume.
it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it then, y'all.
Hey, Resume.
Last call for any tickers, any questions, anything before I wrap it up.
Hey, Resume, can you hear me?
All right, y'all quiet. It's okay. That
No,
means y'all good.
No. Can anybody hear us? Nobody?
Hey, Resume, can you hear us?
Hello?
No, I don't hear nobody.
Okay, so Resume can't hear us.
Okay. My fault. Go ahead.
All right. My question would be, what was the ticker that you were saying in the energy sector that was actually going nuts?
Oh, I think
It was 3 tickers back or 2?
It was, you said USO, then HB said MPC, and then and then Mimi brought up VLO.
All right, I want to check both of those out. Thank you.
Oh, yep. Sure. My fault, y'all. I didn't hear the questions. All right, so if anybody minds repeating their question?
I think it was just Pyro. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right then, Pat. I guess we can wrap it up here. And y'all can have a great evening. I'll get my watch list typed up and put in the Discord here in a little bit. And if you got any follow-up questions or anything like that, just hit me up and we can chat about it in the Discord. But I'll be up going through contracts a little bit later too, trying to check out some ROI. But just to kind of reiterate, just so everybody has what we looked at, that I put alerts for at least: VLO, MPC, Starbucks, those are all upside moves. FedEx is an upside move as well. Palantir is downside. Uber is upside. Chewy is downside. And that's what I got for tomorrow. So you'll see what makes the cut here in a couple hours. But that's what I got, Pat. So if there's nothing else, I'll let y'all have it and let y'all get y'all time back and have a great evening.
Appreciate it, Resume. Good night.
Good job, man. Y'all have a great evening. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.